Hello friends, welcome back to a new video. I hope you are following my channel. So today I wish to speak to you about a recent issue of the self-styled God man and the country that he has made, the Swami Nityananda and his self-made country of the United States of Kailasa. So in this small session, I wish to draw parallels between two figures who have played this kind of a gimmick in a similar fashion, but almost in a kind of a similar geographical area, but during different eras. So what I wish to do is I wish to compare two figures. One is this self-styled god man of this Hindu pontiff Swami Nityananda, and another one is Osho, right? So you can see why I wish to say that there are parallels is because see here, Swami Nityananda, he was accused of so many crimes in India: extortion, kidnapping, and even molestation related attempts. And he fled, and nearby an island of Ecuador, he bought that island and named itself like a United States of Kailasha, and he wanted to project himself like the Vatican Pope, like a pontiff of Hinduism. Right? So what Osho did in 1980s is he went to US and brought a ranch in Oregon and named it Rajneeshpuram. That time his name is Rajneesh because at that time he was not known as Osho. People used to call him Bhagavan. And just like what Swami Nityananda had here also, a lady companion, not a companion but a kind of an employee he has, Ma Vijaya Priya. And here in Osho's case also there was a kind of a notorious figure at that time, Ma Sheila Anand. If you want to know more about Osho, there has been recent a Netflix documentary on him. So what I wanted to say is in 1983, what Osho did is at some point of time that cult took over the countryside and they began to manipulate the local elections in some way that they wanted to take over that power. That is the time when the administration got furious and they began to treat him like an unwelcoming alien. And finally he was deported to India, and in India also he tried his teachings. But although there are parallels, there is a stark difference also I wish to point out between Osho and this Nityananda. First of all, even while leaving India, Osho was never accused of any of such forgeries or crimes. He was a philosophical teacher, but he never espoused Hinduism in the way that Nityananda has done. What Osho has done is he can be considered as somebody who is a materialistic philosopher, maybe or someone who is following an Epicurean style of life, maybe Charvaka Logayata school of philosophy, something that is related more with materialism. That is something that no other Indian philosopher was pointing out at that point of time. That is one reason why Osho was never a darling of the so-called political masses here. But that was not the case of Nityananda. But the thing here he has done is similarly what Osho has done at one point of time. They got engulfed into a kind of a power triangle and finally wanted to make a cult, and those cult began to behave like a madman following. So finally what happened is they began to actually take over a place and felt like they are the king or the queen. This is the same way Osho also used to travel in huge convoy of luxury cars. So similar also you can find with Nityananda. But if I have to put two people, Osho and Nityananda, in two hands, I would certainly rate Osho better, because at least he was, or he is, you can say, in a way, a literary genius. Had a very good philosophical thought point, and many of his philosophies actually do make sense even in the modern world. But in many ways, he could not be accepted by the society at that point of time. But at the same time, there are certain faults in him that's where both of these people had messed up with a cardinal rule that religion and politics at times, if it is mixed together, it becomes a vicious cocktail. So what Nityananda has done is he has done so many ill deeds, and he is actually, what he is trying to do is he is actually taking refuge in Hinduism and saying I am the pontiff of Hindus, so follow me and all those kinds of things. That is where it becomes really, really dangerous. You have to understand whatever a preacher or whatever kind of a teacher who is there, we can respect them, but don't follow them like a cult. The problem is like if you follow them without applying your mind, what happens is like at least you have to understand these people are human beings only. At one point of time, there is a good chance that you may get cheated or you may get carried away by many things, and in the end, you will feel that it was worth not doing that. So this is where I wish to point out kind of a parallels between both of these figures, Nityananda and Osho. In many ways, there were similarities, there were differences also, but we know how Osho ended at that point of time. He had to literally leave everything and finally flee US. And will the same thing happen for Nityananda? Only time can tell, because it's up to the Indian government to give him a lookout notice and get him back from that self-proclaimed republic of his. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for listening to this video. Have a nice day. Stay tuned for next video. Take care.